Hello, everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
Big Sister, the story of Ruth Wayne and her problems as a woman, as well as a nurse, a wife, and a mother. Today's episode in just a moment, after this message from our sponsor. Evening in Falls. Ruth Wayne, Big Sister, has been sitting in the living room for some time. And now she realizes that subconsciously she's been waiting for a footstep on the porch. Waiting as if John were just away on a late call and not hundreds of miles away in New York. With a tired sigh, she gets up and then...
Just a minute. Nettie!
Ruth.
Oh.
Gee whiz, Ruth, it's awful good to see you.
It's wonderful to see you again, Nettie. Come on in, come on.
Well, are you sure? I mean, it's pretty late. I wasn't even sure you'd still be up.
Well, of course I'm sure. Come on into the living room. I was going to call you at the gas station, but I met Hope this morning, and she said that she'd tell you I was back.
Well, she just did a couple of minutes ago, as soon as I got home. And I came right over. What happened, Ruth? I mean, did you see John?
Yes, I saw him. We talked about a lot of things that perhaps we should have talked about before. And then I came home.
Well, he's still there? Didn't come back with you?
No.
Well, is he coming back?
Well, not right away.
Oh, what the dickens is the matter with him, anyway?
Does there have to be something the matter with him?
After he's gone off like this, run out on you and Richard, left the two of you alone. After you've been married... Well, you mean it might be your fault?
You never know in cases like this, Nettie. But it's possible.
Oh, the heck it is. I know. Not just because you're my sister, either. But there's no one could have done more for him, or stood for more. I'm sorry, Ruth. I guess I shouldn't sound off that way, but... I've been awful worried about you.
I know you have, Nettie, and I appreciate it, but really there's nothing to worry about.
But what are you going to do, Ruth?
About what?
About everything.
I don't know exactly what you mean, Nettie, but my life isn't over just because John's not here, and neither is his. If he'll only realize that and make the same adjustment that I've already made, well, we'll see.
Oh, gee, Ruth, if you only knew how much better that makes me feel. You're talking this way.
Well, how else could I talk? How else could I take it and still feel that I was an adult? Well, now, tell me about you, Nettie. Hope told me that something very interesting had come up while I was away, that you might be going into business for yourself.
Oh, that's just a lot of talk.
What do you mean?
Well, it could be something if everything was different. It's a garage over at Somerville. Belongs to Mr. Brooks. He's sick and wants to sell out. Hope heard about it, and she's been after me to buy it.
Ooh, that sounds as if it might have possibilities. Is there much money involved?
And how? $9,000.
$9,000? Ooh, that is a lot of money. If it was just one or two, I might have been able to help you out.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it, Ruth. Especially the way things are now. And with John away.
Where did Hope think you were going to get the money?
From Frank Wayne.
Oh, I see.
She even got me to go to his office and talk to him. And he did offer it. Said he'd be glad to give it to me. But, oh, Ruth, it's been awful. Terrible. Since the whole thing first came up, we've been fighting back and forth, and... What do you think I ought to do?
Why are you hesitating about borrowing the money from Frank?
Why? Well, you know why. Because I don't trust him, that's all.
Why not, Nettie?
Gee whiz, don't we all know him? All the slimy things that he's done before this? Well, he was doing a lot of talking about how nobody understands him and he only wants to help out. He's got something up his sleeve. Some angle that I haven't got yet. I just don't trust him.
Then, isn't that your answer, Nettie?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose that is. It's just that It could be such a good deal if it worked out. And Hope's got her heart so set on it. And we could be wrong about Frank. He could have turned over a new leaf. Gee whiz, Ruth, I wish you'd tell me what to do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nettie. I wish I could, too, but I'm afraid that's something you'll have to make up your own mind about.
While Nettie talks over his problem with his sister, a scene they both find very interesting is taking place a few blocks away in Frank Wayne's house. Wearing a dressing gown and slippers, Frank is stretched out on the living room couch, dozing, when there's a knock on the door. Waking with a start, he glances at his watch, shuffles to the door, opens it.
Hello, Frank.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I came to see you.
Here at this hour? Is anything the matter?
No, nothing special. I just wanted to talk to you. Can't I come in?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it's better than standing out here. All right, come in.
Thanks, Frank. Gee, this is swell. Big hall and those stairs and... is that the living room in there?
Yes. Hope, what was it you wanted to talk to me about?
You're certainly acting funny, Frank. As if you're sorry I came. If you want me to
Hope,
go...
certainly not. It's just that... Well, you really ought to be more discreet.
Discreet?
Mm-hmm. Coming here alone at this time of night. What would people say if they saw you?
Nobody saw me. I was careful. And besides, what do we care what anyone thinks? We know there's nothing wrong between us, don't we?
Of course. After all, I'm old enough to be your father. But just the same...
Oh, I don't think you're so old, Frank. Especially the way you look now with that dressing gown and all. You look kind of like, well, a movie star.
You know, Hope, you're one of the most curious creatures I've ever known.
You think so, Frank? Why?
That mixture of sophistication and simplicity, of naivete and shrewdness, it is both intriguing and a little frightening.
Frightening? And just what do you mean by that? Are you frightened by poor little me or by yourself?
To tell you the truth, I don't always know. Now, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
Can't we go inside and sit down?
No, Hope, I don't think we'd better.
Okay. Well, it was just about Nettie, that money you offered to lend him. I've been after him, talking to him, and I think he's coming around.
I'm glad to hear that, Hope. Very glad. I'm very anxious to do something for you, for both of you.
That's what I keep telling Nettie. All you really want to do is help people, and no one will give you a chance. No one will let you. I think it's just terrible.
You're a very understanding child, Hope.
I'm not so sure I'm a child, but I think we understand each other.
Yes. I think maybe we do, too.
Then, well, don't worry about Nettie. I'll take care of him.
We return to the story of Big Sister after this message from our sponsor.
Nettie?
Oh, yes. Hope, you still up?
Oh, sure. You don't think I'd go to bed before you got home, do you?
Oh, that's awful nice of you, Hope. Well, you shouldn't have waited, though. I might have come home real late.
That's all right. I don't mind waiting. After all, I'm used to it.
Well, you didn't really have to stay home alone. If you'd wanted to, you could have come over to Ruth's with me.
I know when I'm in the way. Well, what'd you have to say?
About what?
About anything. John, what you can be doing.
Oh, well, he's still in New York. She doesn't know when he's coming back. Oh, gee, she was swell. Wouldn't let me say a word against John. And she's just going to keep right on going as if nothing happened.
Wonderful. What else?
What do you mean?
Well, didn't you talk to her about the garage and borrowing money from Frank?
Oh, yes, I did.
And what did she say about that?
Well, she didn't say anything. Just that it was something I had to decide for myself. And she's right.
Well, of course she's right.
I did some more thinking about it on the way back here, and, Hope, I made up my mind. I don't like Frank, I don't trust him, and I don't want to have anything to do with him. I'm not going to borrow the money from him.
So. Well, now we know, don't we?
Know what?
Just exactly where we stand. You and I and Ruth. She She wasn't going to tell you what to do. Oh, no. But still, you did exactly what she wanted you to
Oh,
do.
that's not true.
Oh,
She didn't...
you little dope. She's got you so tied in knots you don't even know it. You were going to think it over, weren't you? Well, it sure is awful funny that after thinking it over for almost a week, you only make up your mind after you have a talk with that big sister of yours.
Well, what of it?
I told you once before that I wasn't going to go on like this forever. At one of these days, you'd have to choose between that sister of yours and me. Well, I've had more than enough. It seems to me like you've made up your mind about more than just the money, so...
Oh, Hope, now, wait a minute, will you? Don't get sore. I'm telling you, she really didn't say anything. And as far as choosing between you and her or anything like that... Hope, what are you doing in there?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm taking my bags down.
Your bag?
Yes, my bag. Do you think I'm going to stick around here after this? I am packing and getting out of here just as fast as I can.
Poor Nettie. Poor Ruth. It was only after he had talked with Ruth that he found the courage to do what he had wanted to do all along. Turn down Frank's offer. But now, after what's happened, is he going to be grateful to Ruth or resentful? And now, this message from our sponsor. Listen tomorrow on this station to Big Sister.